Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the weekly MMA Cycles Market Update. This is Gianni DePocia, your host, and it's Friday again, so it's time for a market update and review. It was a pretty eventful week. We had a nice rally in stocks and crypto and many other markets as well. We had important conjunctions between Mercury and Jupiter, as well as Venus and Uranus, in addition to a trine between Mars and Saturn last week. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Start off by looking at the Dow Jones trading at the highs of the week. This is the type of price action we see in the early stages of a new primary cycle, coming up against a key technical level here. But it's worth pointing out how the NASDAQ continues to outperform. This is what I think is the key characteristic of this rally. It's very much a risk on signal. Take a look at the NASDAQ here, close to testing its high from February. And if it takes that out, I think it's a really good sign. You know, next week, there really aren't that many geocosmic signatures. So we're coming out of a potential reversal zone here this week, and its orb will spill over into the early part of next week. But if we can rally beyond and perhaps make a high into the back half of next week, I think that's a really constructive sign for stocks. You know, despite there being some political issues and geopolitical tensions still remain elevated, we did have an inflation report on Friday that came in below estimates slightly. So next week, we have to look forward to some key labor and job market data to see whether the Fed can continue on its rate hike trajectory. So, but one key feature of Venus conjunct Uranus is it's known for breaks of resistance and support, and it's especially applicable to the NASDAQ because, you know, Venus rules stocks and Uranus rules tech, and the NASDAQ is a tech-heavy index. So, so far, it looks like we're getting a breakout to the upside, but it's still early. But this does support the notion that stocks are indeed in a new primary cycle. Let's take a look at the 10-year Treasury yield, kind of still trading in a choppy manner. Again, bonds are in a new primary cycle as well, but really not much to show for it so far. It really just depends on the intermediate term cycle breakdown and how the 6-year cycle is dividing. We explain that at length in the ETF report and the monthly cycles report. So if you want to hear our thoughts on what's going on in interest rates, go ahead and check those out. But it is worth noting that, you know, now that Pluto, which rules debt, is in Aquarius, the game is changing when it comes to debt markets. And, you know, what worked in the last decade or since 2008, when Pluto was in Capricorn, is unlikely to be sufficient while Pluto is in Aquarius. So we're going to retrograde back into Capricorn on June 11th, but then on January 21st, 2024, Pluto will go back into the sign of Aquarius. So let's take a look at gold and silver. Really strong weeks here. I'm looking at GDX, the gold mining ETF, trading at the highs of the week. Still a few hours left in Friday's session, but so far so good. Let's take a look at SLV, the silver trust, and that also is trading near the highs of the week. So this is looking pretty constructive as well. I want to take a look at what's going on in cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin, pretty solid performance this week, a rally to a new multi-month high on Thursday. Price is still hanging out, consolidating in what could turn out to be a bull flag formation, which is a very bullish price pattern. But, you know, I really have my eyes on Venus conjunct Uranus because that's a very significant signature for this market, and especially Venus going through Bitcoin has a very high probability to significant price moves in Bitcoin specifically in its history. So take a look at Ethereum. Similar story here, pretty constructive as the rule consolidations near the highs of a move are bullish price action. And again, you know, if these markets can continue in their trajectory into the back half of next week, I think we could be in the early stages of big moves here, but we have to make it through, let's say, Wednesday or Thursday next week. If we don't reverse by then I think it's a pretty good sign because, you know, there really aren't that many signatures, geocosmic signatures next week. So it's a pretty quiet week. We are wrapping up the week, the month, and the quarter today. So Q2 will begin. We had all those, well, I should say 2 of the 3 outer planets in this year that will change signs have already done so. So we had Saturn going into Pisces earlier in March. We now have Pluto in Aquarius as of last week. So now we have to anticipate Jupiter ingressing into Taurus on the 17th of May. So that's going to be a very significant signature, and I think really cap off the most intense geocosmic period of the year. Jupiter going into Taurus, is the banking crisis finished? That remains to be seen. Perhaps some sort of event related to commodities or agriculture, given Taurus's rulership over those elements of the economy. So remains to be seen, but so far so good. We'll keep an eye on it and keep you posted. You can find our work at www.mmacycles.com. We're still in session now for the third rendition of the Merriman Market Timing Academy. Let us know if you're interested in that. And again, our reports, weekly reports, daily reports, crypto reports, all can be found at the website, mmacycles.com. So thank you so much for watching. Wishing you all a great weekend. We'll see you same time, same place next week.